Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving a 2024 Tesla Model 3 Performance. Below me are two electric motors powering this all-electric performance sedan. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Model 3 for two reasons. First of all, it's been several years since I've driven one, and I think it's important, especially as a full-time car reviewer, to sort of re-up on the current situation of vehicles, and Tesla being a very prominent brand is important. But the second reason is the fact that for the 2024 model year, they actually updated the Model 3, and I have yet to drive this updated version, and so I'm excited to share it with you here today. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that all-electric drivetrain. Well, this is the Performance, which means it is built to be the quickest, fastest Tesla, at least in the Model 3 packaging. Of course, the Model S is going to be the bigger one that has a little bit more performance, of course. Tesla says this is rated at about 500 horsepower, which is pretty good. However, you do have to take electric horsepower with a grain of salt. It doesn't quite act or feel like gasoline at 500 horsepower, but what you need to know is that it's all-wheel drive and it is very, very quick. Now, for that 2024 model year update, they actually increased the width of the rear tires to 275s, but kept the fronts at 245s, where it used to be 245 square. So we do get more grip, however, it means that you can't actually rotate your tires front to back anymore. So how does it feel to drive the Tesla Model 3 Performance? Well, around town, it's totally fine, it's normal, it's quiet, it acts like an EV. It acts like every other EV. Now, this does have adaptive suspension that you can put into sport or normal mode. In sport mode, it does stiffen up quite a bit. And you can put it into chill acceleration mode, and it's gonna drive like your grandma's Mitsubishi i-MiEV. But of course, you put your foot into it, and this sucker flies! All right, we'll punch it in insane mode, because we have to. Oh. Oh. God. Woo! That hurt my incision. Oh boy, oh boy. Ah. Oh man, for those who don't know, I had abdomen surgery in December, and the actual tip of my incision, I have about a 6-inch cut down my abdomen. That actually tingled. That actually tingled my incision. I don't think I've ever said that, but that did. That is quick. That is fun. That is very, very fun. But that is one of the great things about this car, is that it can be so dual-sided and really, really good at doing so. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, directly in front of me, I get nothing. But on the steering wheel, I get my turn signals off to the left, as well as my headlights and high beams. And off to the right, we have our windshield wipers and Sentry mode and voice commands. Very, very odd to see it all here on the steering wheel. There are no stalks behind the steering wheel. Moving on to the door, we have the latch to get in and out. And we have power windows, but that's it. It's all very simple. Everything is ran through the center screen. So in the center, we get our giant screen. This is our speedometer. This is our gear selector, which this does have predictive gear shifting. When you put your foot on the brake and you have your seatbelt on, it will guess which way you want to go and put you into that gear. Now, you can manually override that, but in my time with it, it's actually been pretty spot on of knowing what I want. But we have our navigation ran through here. All of our drive modes are ran through the center. We, of course, have backup cameras and 360 cameras. We have the typical Tesla fun box where you can play games while you charge and whatnot. Everything is centered around this screen. I will say, this screen is pretty easy to use, especially as someone who grew up with a cell phone in their hand. I got my first cell phone in 6th grade. I'm very used to using UI like this, so it actually all makes pretty good sense, and I can navigate my way around. It operates like an iPhone or an Android or any type of mobile device or tablet that you might have come in contact with. I could see this being a big issue with someone that didn't grow up with that sort of technology, because it is pretty daunting with all the settings and modes and digital dials and things like that. But for me, it actually works out pretty well, and I like the screen as a whole. I don't love the fact that there's nothing else in the interior, but the screen itself, I think, operates well. Down below that, we do have some wireless chargers. We have a big cubby in the center, as well as we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' model test in the 2024 Tesla Model 3 Performance, and it fails, but I pretty much expected it to. Then we have a center console and the seats. The seats are comfortable enough. They are heated and memory and things like that. I like them. But again, just like the rest of the interior, there's no speciality feeling. They have these little performance badging on them, but that's really it. They're not big bucket seats. They're not anything too crazy. And honestly, they're very, very forgetful. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do a backseat review. All right, let's get in the back of the Tesla Model 3. Weird door handles, front and rear have these. I don't love them, but stepping into the back, this is the smallest car that Tesla currently makes. I don't know if there will ever be a Model 2 or what, but this is it. I had it, okay, there we go. We do have a screen back here. This is very, very nice. We have our games that we can play. No longer asking if there are any games on your phone. You can play them right now. So, bada bing, play some nice 2048. This was a big game when I was in junior high. Get that. Oh, shoot, okay. Nope, 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 no. Oh, yes. No! Fuck! Shit! Anyway, I could get lost in that. We do have some climate vents down there as well. We have the nice ambient lighting that carries on. We get to enjoy the signature Tesla glass roof. No center console, it appears. Oh, we do! Okay, so 2 cup holders in here. That is very well hidden as a third center seat. I mean, it is a third center seat. That is hidden very, very well. Overall, my knees actually aren't hitting the seat in front of me, and my head isn't hitting the ceiling. I fit in the back of the Tesla Model 3 very, very well, and I've ridden in the back of these time and time again. I will say, sometimes the ride quality of these cars in the back is not great. Now, I'm not being driven around today, so I can't tell you firsthand, but I've had several people in my life come up to me and say, riding in the back of Teslas in Ubers, or as Lyfts, can be somewhat nauseating. I think part of that is ride quality. I think also sometimes Uber drivers and Lyft drivers aren't really fully good at driving EVs, so they let off the gas and it auto starts braking, so it kind of becomes herky-jerky. But something to note, something to think about. Let's hop into the back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space and the frunk, and then we'll talk about the looks. So something really nice about the Model 3 Performance is that it actually does have a power trunk. Very, very nice. You double click it here on the key fob. Once we are back here, nothing really too crazy to write home about. Regular trunk space, we can lift this up. We do have a pretty decent amount of storage, I will say that, but again, no tricks or gimmicks in the back of the trunk, and we can double hit it again, and it is a power operated closing trunk as well. However, let's walk up to the front, double click the front, and it will pop up. This is not power operated. You got to do the manual labor here like a red-blooded American and lift it up. There you go. You do get a little bit of trunk space. I don't want this to fly away, so I'm not going to keep it open too long, but you do get frunk space. I would say pretty good in terms of the EV world. Right back down. There you go. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I don't mind the look of the Model 3. Again, I don't feel like it's very special. However, for 2024, they actually did change the performance a little bit. It does get different front and rear bumpers. It gets the little carbon fiber lip at the back. There are some very, very slight visual cues that give away that this is a performance as opposed to a regular Model 3, but you would have to be a fanatic or know really what you're talking about in order to spot said differences. I think overall it's fine. I do like the new front end that they've put on it. It sort of matches the Tesla Roadster that they've been planning for the last half decade and we still haven't seen yet. So I think it's attractive enough and it's unoffensive enough that a lot of different people can buy it and it's just gonna kind of be a car. And I think that's what attracts people to the Model 3. But let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a Tesla Model 3 Performance? As I've mentioned, I personally am not a very big Tesla fan. I just don't feel like these cars are very special or like super good. This particular one is quick. Yes, it's fast. It's exciting to drive and punch it. But my overall feeling with this, and my feeling with Tesla, is the fact that this is a car for either a non-car person or someone that has other entertaining vehicles. Like the owner, Aiden, he has an NB Miata. It's loud, it's silly, it's goofy, it's fun to drive, it's manual, it's everything you want. This car is very user-friendly. If you know how to use screens, if you have a phone, you know how to use this car. It's very tech-forward. I don't think that Teslas build the best EVs anymore. Tesla used to have two very big advantages over every other EV. First of all was brand recognition. I think that they still have that. People often refer to just regular EVs as Teslas, even if they're made by Hyundai or Ford. They've almost Xeroxed the competition. But the other thing that they had was their charging infrastructure, and that's starting to go away because they've opened up the availability to other companies to use the charging infrastructure. So the Subaru Uncharted is also able to use the same chargers as this Model 3. It's no longer a big benefit. I think what annoys me about Tesla owners is that they really hype up features that regular cars have. It's the first time that they've had a car that they've actually been at least somewhat interested in. And so I get all these comments of like, oh, Teslas are the best because they're so fast. Yeah, there's a lot of fast cars. Oh, the Tesla's the best because it has this big tablet in the middle. Yeah, like most cars have touchscreens now. And so these Teslas are very, very good for people that don't really care about cars. This is the Prius of electric vehicles. Now you can go to a Tesla store, and if you want to go really fast, you just have to point to the performance one and sign the paperwork. And that wasn't really a thing for people back in the day. A normal car, a normal sedan that doesn't look special at all is fast. It's super fast. It's wickedly fast. That wasn't really a thing. You had to buy the M5. You had to go up to the special edition. You had to buy a Lamborghini if you wanted to go any sort of speed that now this little sedan will do. That is very impressive. But for car people like me, this car just doesn't interest me. And the minimalism in here, I don't really like. It feels like the design team took an early lunch. They said, we'll slap the screen in the center and they won't know the wiser. I like when it feels like an interior was actually designed by teams of people over months, honing in ergonomics. This feels like it was built by computers for robots. And while yes, it's fast, it's very, very fast in a straight line. It made my incision tingle. Beyond that, this car just doesn't offer a whole lot. There's no soul, there's no personality, there's no feelings behind this car. And as someone who enjoys cars as a hobby and as a job, I like when my cars tell a story. I like when my cars have something special to tell the world. And this car just doesn't. It's a computer, it's a phone, it's a washing machine. It's a fast washing machine, but it's just a washing machine. It's not really for sinking your teeth into. You get in, you drive it, you get out, that's it. And so that's why I personally don't really like these. But if you are looking for a vehicle that you just get in, you go super fast, and you get out, this might be the car for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Aiden for letting me borrow his Tesla Model 3 Performance for today's video. He's been absolutely wonderful to work with. As I mentioned, I reviewed this Tesla, but also his Mazda Miata, which I would much prefer over this vehicle. But he's been absolutely wonderful to work with. We scheduled this somewhat last minute, and I'm very appreciative that he was able to accommodate it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.